Hello, and welcome to Delico Home Invasion and tonight's Jack in the Box. I'm Delico Arts Artistic Director Amanda White, and I am joined by my effortlessly charming co-artistic director, Ben TG. Hi, Benj.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday in 2020. How many days are there? We are so glad you're here. On a more positive note, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Friends, this is the first Jack in the Box.
First one.
Ever. Are you excited, Benj?
I'm excited. Are you excited?
Could not be more excited.
All
Both
right.
for Jack in the Box and for tonight's specific event. Very exciting. We thought we might take just a minute. Yes, aim. Ready
Yes,
for the
Amy.
unexpected.
Mhm.
We are going to deliver in that avenue.
Because you don't know what to expect.
You don't know.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
We've already done it because you have no idea.
Right.
Yep.
Mission accomplished.
Done and done. See you tomorrow, everyone.
Thanks for coming out.
Bye.
Okay, so here's the deal. We thought we would just tell you a little bit about how this works. This is old hat for some of you, and some of you are brand new. And then we're going to tell you a little bit about the show, and then we're going to watch this thing. Okay, sound good, Benj?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so first of all, for those of you who are new, welcome. I mean, welcome to all of you. But for those of you who are new, here's how this works. You are watching this on YouTube Live, which means that somewhere, if you registered for YouTube Live and subscribed to Delico Arts homepage, or subscribe to Delico Arts in
Our
general.
channel.
Our
Yeah.
channel.
Our channel.
Then what you're looking at right now is me on the screen, and also there's a little bit of a chat function there. You can visit with your friends, and every single event in Delico Home Invasion is designed to be informal, which means that you can chat with each other. We feel so strongly that our mission at Delico Arts is to be a community builder. We want to be a gathering place for you in this time. And so you get to chat all the way through. So don't feel like you're being rude, like it would be if you were in the theater and you were just hanging out visiting with the person sitting next to you all the way through the show.
Yeah, we are not in the theater.
We are not.
No, this is unfortunately not the theater, but
You are watching Ben and I live from the Granada Room Studio at the Prague Theater on Main
Yes.
Street. So we are definitely, neither of us are on the stage either. So I'm having trouble with words tonight.
yeah, it's okay because we
Yeah.
don't have to do much words tonight.
Yeah, we're almost done with
Our words almost done.
So what will happen is we'll talk to you for a minute or two. You'll watch the show, and then afterward, if you want to stick around, Ben and I will loop back in. So when the show's over, you can log off if you want to. You don't have to watch us wrap it up, but we'll pop back in just to say thanks for coming out and good night. Sound good? You can chat. What you chat about is not going to pop up on the screen. For those of you who are veterans for date night, sometimes we pop up, we sort of curate what's happening in the chat and pop up some things like, say for instance,
Like this.
Josh Campbell is definitely not wearing pants, which I do want to point out. Josh Campbell, Delico Arts artist and our board treasurer. I do want to point out that that's one of the perks. Thank you for bringing that up, Josh. Like the true board member that you are, you don't have to put pants on.
Nope.
We can't see you.
Nope.
Only you can see us. Ben and I are the only two who have to brush our hair. Everybody else just roll in.
I barely did that.
Yep. Some of you are curled up in bed. Some of you are curled up on the living room floor. Some of you are watching at your home office. Probably most of you aren't wearing pants. Bring a beer or an herbal tea to the table and just watch. Kick
If
back.
you're not wearing pants, please put that in the chat for us.
Yeah, let
we
us
want to know
know.
how many of you are not wearing pants.
You know what I also want to know? Who's new?
Yeah, who's new? Put new in the chat. Tell us if you're new. If this is your first Delico Home Invasion experience, put it in the chat.
Let us know. And those of you who are veterans already of DHI, make sure you welcome the newcomers. Let's start to build the DHI fam here. That's the goal this season. Okay, Benj.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I am so excited about tonight's show.
Same.
You want to talk a little bit about it?
Do I?
Yeah.
Well, this is a show that we have loved for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We saw this show at the Minnesota Fringe Festival last summer.
2019.
Yep, and it was a big hit at the Fringe. And we were like, ooh, that's fun. We want more of that. But then the pandemic happened. But because of Delico Home Invasion, we reached out to the producer of this show and we said, could you maybe do a virtual version of this? And she said, yes.
Okay, so your first clue is the producer.
Hmm?
The producer of this show is a dear friend of ours and a Delico Arts artist from season 2. You ready for it? Who is it, Ben?
She was specifically in the Philadelphia Story.
Yep. Directed by pantsless treasurer Josh Campbell. Who is it, Ben?
It's Anna Weggel.
It's Anna Weggel.
Yep.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
So Anna Weggel, dear friend and DA artist, produced this show. The coolest part about it is, obviously at the Fringe, it was live. So when we talked to Anna and said, will you do the virtual show? They're doing it. This team of artists got together and they put it together especially for you, the Delico Arts Home Invasion audience. So we're really fortunate because this is, in some ways, a premiere. It was video directed by who, Benj?
By Anna's hubs.
New hubs.
Yep. Brant Miller, who you also saw on stage in Herald.
Yes.
When Four Humors came to town. And also when they brought Mortem Capiendum to town, if you remember that. Those two wonderful shows. So really fun to see him back. And stage directed by our own Lauren Anderson.
Our very own Lauren Anderson, Amanda's college roommate, and also my, how do we say this? It's bigger than creative partner. It's Lauren and I wrote Towering Women of Malkin together. For those of you who came out to see some of our process on that show, she is one of my dearest and almost like it feels like kind of like lifelong friends now. So, and Lauren is an astonishing artist in her own right. So if you saw this show at the Fringe, you saw it directed by the one and only Lauren Anderson.
And we haven't even told you what the show is yet.
You guys, what you're about to see is a group of all women. A bunch of artists who are women who came together and agreed to work with Anna and create this beautiful piece. You're going to see some more artists who you recognize through this show, who are beloved family members and DA artists. You've seen them right here on the Prague stage. Let's just get to it, Benj.
Yeah, I do want to say before we get to it, so many people in the chat not wearing pants.
So many pantsless chatters.
So many pantsless chatters. Good for you guys.
Good for you. This is the Delico spirit we're looking for this year.
Yeah, maybe this is a new Delico Home Invasion tradition, is just tuning in without pants on.
I like it. We're not going to pull up the photo reel.
No, we will not do a wall of pantsless people.
No, but hey, live it up and you can talk about it all you want in the chat. That's what the chat's for.
That's right, Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy Ilka. Can I say it because it's all women?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm super excited. Folks, we're bringing the power of the woman artist to you tonight in a really remarkable show of creativity. Are you ready for it? This show's going to run just under an hour, and then we'll come back. Ladies and gentlemen and friends and wonderful people and all of you DHIers out there, please welcome to the DHI space, Cat Confidential.
Yeah!
My cat Penny disappeared the night I got her. You'll never believe where she was.
My cat Penelope is a lover. My cat Tony Pesto doesn't let me sleep.
My cat Cooper is my soulmate, but he's so social, he keeps trying to open the relationship.
My cat Molly killed a rabbit. I didn't know what to do with the body, so I composted it.
I put my cat Sam and Bruce in a plane from South Korea, and they're still punishing me for it.
My cat Phoenix loves food and hates people. I think she learned that from me.
My cat Wallaby's a biter, and sometimes I bite back.
Do you believe in love at first sight? Whether or not you do, I'm here to tell you that you do. Because it's real, it's palpable, and it's true. And I experienced it firsthand when I fell in love with my cat. Oh my God. Did you think I was going to talk about a person I fell in love with at first sight? No. No, that's never happened. Well, maybe once. But it happened with my cat Dante, for sure. I remember it so clearly, walking into the animal shelter, passing by cat after cat after cat, thinking, no, not quite, no. And then I saw him, a shivering ball of fluff about the size of a well-fed onion in a cage at the end of the hallway. He sneezed. And from that moment on, Dante and I were inseparable. Speaking of love, I can't really remember the last time I was single for any significant amount of time since I was 16 years old. I had boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend after girlfriend after boyfriend. It's not like I was what the kids call a player or anything. Every time I dated someone, I legitimately thought I had found the one, no matter how much not the one they either were or weren't. Once, it turned out someone I was dating had a secret She-Hulk fetish and a stash of 80s female weightlifter competitions on VHS for the spank bank. I told Dante about all of this, but he just couldn't believe it was the same guy who had fed him hot dish under the table. Another time, a guy I was dating mailed a vial of actual shit to my office that I opened in front of all of my coworkers. Dante didn't know what the big deal was. He shit in an open box every day. And this other time, this guy I was engaged to, and no, we didn't actually get married. This guy, his favorite band was legitimately Nickelback. This time, Dante was like, girl, no. Of course, not all the guys were assholes. Some just didn't fit or it wasn't the right time. Sometimes I was the asshole. But no matter who was what kind of hole, the cycle continued. All you need to know is that my cat Dante was there through it all. He was my rock, my fluffy, puffy rock. Every night when I went to sleep, he laid his little head down on my arm like a pillow. He was smart, funny, charming, basically everything you want in a partner except maybe driven, because no cat is driven. Dante was the eye of my storm. And when Dante died, I was destroyed. I can point to it as the single most crushing blow that life has ever dealt me. To this day, I can't even bring myself to buy an urn for his ashes because that will somehow make it all too real. I lost the one friend who never judged me, who never pitied me, who just was. Dante was there as I struggled to find that one true connection and kept failing and failing and failing. Now I realize that maybe he was the true connection the entire time. The whole time, without realizing it, I didn't actually need a partner to be complete or to find meaning or to become the truest realization of myself. In the end, I only needed him. And now he's gone. But because of him, I know that now I only need me.
You and me, but mostly me, are gonna change the world forever. 'Cause I can do most everything,
and I can stand next to you and watch.
I'm not a big believer in magic. I don't believe in the magic of coincidences or that serendipity is working to align us all with our fate. I don't believe in soulmates. I don't believe in ghosts. Unless there's a ghost in my house, then yes, I do believe in ghosts. And yet, I believe in the magic of cats. I've had 3 cats in my life, all gray, all male, and all with the personalities of angels. And every one of my cats has always come home when he's called. Whether it was 8-year-old me calling for my first cat, Scruffy, on the North Dakota prairie, and he would just come meowing up home. Or in high school, I could call for my second cat, Andre, by just opening the front door, calling his name, and then I'd see a fat little gray body zooming across the street. Or even now, with my current cat, Cooper, who doesn't go outside unattended, but even in the house, I can call his name and eventually he'll be right there at my feet. They're all perfect beings. Now, everything in my cat-loving body, because I believe in the magic of cats, I want to believe that each one of these cats is the same feline spirit, just reincarnated into a slightly different gray body. The perfect soulmate, if I believed in soulmates. But I know that my 3 cats have not been all the same cat, and not just because I don't believe in magical coincidences. It's because I have proof that they're not all the same cat. Because of the magical 18 months where I had 2 cats. Now, these 18 months weren't all roses and catnip having 2 cats. Andre lived with my mother in North Dakota, and Cooper lived in Minneapolis with me, and I did have to do my own emotional labor over infidelity because neither cat knew about the other. But most of all, it was a pretty smitten life. I had Cooper in my daily life and Andre on the holidays. I was living the 2-timing dream. Until the day my mom called to tell me that Andre had been missing for 3 days. Now, Andre was an indoor-outdoor cat, so 1 night away wasn't unusual. My mom would just say he was catting around all night. But 3 days is too long to just be catting around. She had called because Andre was missing, and she wanted me to know that he might be gone. Gone. Now, of course, she was still walking and calling his name and putting up posters and looking for him. But also, when do you have to start thinking about when you stop walking and calling his name and looking up posters? Andre was missing, and there was nothing I could do except get in my car and drive 5 hours to North Dakota to... What? Walk the same ground as my mom did? Call the same name slightly louder in my theater voice? I didn't live with Andre anymore. There wasn't anything additional I could do. But he's my cat. I should go. I love him. But what would driving home in a panic create? More stress and possibly a more traumatic grieving process. There really was nothing I could do. I had to realize that I was now in the hands of fate. And I don't believe in fate. So I hung up the phone. My cat Cooper was at my feet. My other perfect gray tabby cat. The one that looked exactly like Andre. And I did the only thing I could. I picked him up, all 17 pounds of him, and I used him like a phone. I held up my cat phone and I said, Cooper, I know all you cats are connected. You have to be. So please tell Andre to come home. He's gotta come home. And then I hung up the phone and I hugged Cooper. And I cried. And I began to mourn the likely loss of my beloved cat, my sweet Andre. A few days later, my mom called again because she had heard underneath her bedroom window a loud, desperate meow. Andre had come home. Now, I don't believe in magic, but I tell you, the cat phone works. Because my cats always come home when they're called.
Strange magic, got a strange magic, got a strange magic.
I was fresh out of college when I landed my first full-time job. After a couple of years, I signed the lease on my first adult lady living on her own in a bachelorette pad-style apartment. I knew as soon as I walked into the aptly named Marie Antoinette that only fate could have brought me this gorgeous 1930s era Art Deco wallpaper and crown molding. Since I was making the most money I ever had in my life, I splurged on antiques. I bought a hand-carved red velvet tufted sofa and a pair of mid-century glass lamps to match. I mean, who really needs a 401k in the future when you can have nice things right now? So there I was, living my fabulously chic lifestyle, when suddenly it hit me. There was one more thing I needed to finish assembling this new grown-up, retro chic, boss bitch version of myself. A feline companion. I talked it over with friends and family, many of whom teased that I had begun my long overdue transformation into a crazy cat lady. Of course, they ended up being completely right. Hi guys, thanks so much for tuning into Cat Confidential and listening to me talk about my favorite subject of all time, cats. In the end, it was my mom who picked her out one day while I was at work. We FaceTimed together as a fluffy white Himalayan with stubby legs and curly ear whiskers ran around sneezing on the Humane Society floor. A few hours later, Penny was curled up under my bed frame, taking in her new surroundings and ignoring all of my attempts to make her love me. It ended up being a long day, so I hit the store for cat supplies that night. While I was shopping, I remembered I had made plans with friends that evening. I figured Penny would probably be fine if I stayed out a little later. I had left her with plenty of food and water, of course. After a couple of hours, I excused myself, letting my friends know, yes, unfortunately, I do need to leave this spectacular drag show right now to go check on my cat. On the way home, I tried imagining Penny just swishing her tail back and forth while telling me to live my best life. When I finally got back, I found her squeezed behind the mirror in my bedroom. Whew, relieved to find her in one piece, I went to the kitchen and started unloading groceries. Intrigued by the commotion, Penny kind of crept out to watch me from the corner. I was closing a drawer when my phone beeped with a text. After texting him back with a quick, "No, I'm not up," I looked up and realized that Penny had disappeared. I called out for her, but heard nothing. Okay, I quickly scanned the bathroom, the bedroom, the living room, and the kitchen, shaking treats and bell toys while nervously humming something like, "I will never leave you alone again." I started a second lap of the apartment. Penny? Penny? Silence. Anxious thoughts raced through my mind. Did I leave a window open? Should I check the bathtub again? Is this a neighborly retaliation for the laundry room incident last week? I was standing in the dining room when I heard the faintest meow from somewhere close by. Where the hell was she? I heard another meow, louder this time. I turned to face my refrigerator. No, I thought, there is no way that she could be inside. I threw the door open anyways. And there she was, crouched on the middle shelf, howling at the top of her tiny little lungs. Sidled up against a block of cheese was Penny. I scooped her out of the fridge, quickly realizing that both she and every grocery I had just put away was drenched in cat urine. Not only had I shirked my responsibilities by going out partying with friends, I had accidentally locked my brand new kitten in the refrigerator for almost a full minute. I stayed up until 3 a.m. that morning, cleaning out the fridge and giving Penny what I would call a bath and what she would probably call a botched baptism. I was a little shocked to find that after a couple of weeks, which included very diligent drawer, cupboard, and oven checking on my part, Penny started curling up in bed with me each night to sleep. It really felt like she had maybe forgotten the whole fridge incident. I think she has.
Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. There beneath the blue suburban skies.
I'm Danna, and I'm playing Heather in this sketch.
I'm Heather, and I'm playing my cat, Cooper, in this sketch. Hey, Heather.
Oh, hey, Cooper.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to write a sketch.
A comedy one?
Yes.
Oh. I got a sketch idea for you.
What's your idea?
So there's this cat, and he climbs in his owner's lap.
Okay, and then?
And then he gets fed.
And then?
That's it.
That's it?
Ta-da!
Okay.
I got another idea.
Okay.
So there's this cat, and he looks out the window, and he sees all the birds, and then his owner comes home.
And
then he gets fed. Hey, I got another idea.
Nope.
Oh, come on. So listen, there's this cat.
Yeah, I figured.
And he meows.
And then
he gets fed.
Yeah, Cooper, are you hungry?
I don't know. I got another sketch idea for you.
No, I don't want any of your ideas. Your ideas aren't sketches. You're just trying to get me to feed you, and you have food in your bowl already.
But just one more.
Fine. One more. It better be a real sketch.
This is a devised theater piece. The cat stands alone on stage. He breathes in pink and exhales blue. The cat makes the form of a shoebox and creates spacework with his tail that represents history. On the back wall, images of World War I and a cactus fill the theater. The lights go out. The lights come up. The cat closes his eyes. The cat opens his eyes. A single rose drops from the ceiling. The lights go out. One candle is lit. A second candle is lit. A third candle is lit. Another candle is lit. One more candle is lit. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles are now lit. The sound of fire is heard. The lights come up. There's nothing on the stage. The lights go out. The lights come up. The cat sits alone on stage. He looks to the audience, and then he gets fed.
Oh.
Feed me, Heather. Feed me all night long. 'Cause if you feed me, Heather, I can grow up big and strong.
I loved being a kid. I loved it so much that I never really envied grown-ups or thought about what my grown-up life would be. I thought and hoped that maybe I'd never have to do actual grown-up things. That's not to say I wasn't given some real grown-up responsibilities, because when I was in 5th grade, I got to pick out Max as our family's pet. I chose her over all the other kittens at the shelter because she was the loudest, and my 10-year-old self deeply identified with this small calico baby who was not afraid to make a bunch of noise for attention. Now, the best years with Max were also the best years with my Grandma Marcia. It was at this time, during middle school, that I realized how very glamorous and wonderful my grandma was. Like Max, Grandma Marcia was fiercely independent, very opinionated, quite small, and occasionally extremely loud. She loomed large over my childhood, and she was the fun grandma that I could see myself becoming one day. The summer I turned 25, I moved to New York City and unwittingly became very much like Grandma Marcia. I went to grad school. I got really into dinner parties. I had a relatively enviable apartment. I was, on many accounts, an actual grown-up. But I didn't really feel responsible like I thought a grown-up should. I still felt like a kid. And in some ways, it was actually really, really helpful for me to feel like a child. I taught in an after-school theater program. I worked at a children's museum. I did voiceovers for an educational iPad app, and I nannied for rich people. Being in touch with my kid brain meant I was really good at these jobs. I read children's books and ate applesauce out of pouches, and I watched Doc McStuffins. I spent a lot of time sitting cross-legged on classroom and rehearsal studio and fancy apartment floors all around New York City. And when I wasn't hanging out with children, I was chilling with my perfect, softest, beautiful cat, Penelope. She was the first cat who was really all mine, who I was really responsible for. We took her home from the ASPCA on this windy night in January, and I spent most of that night just sitting and watching her. I tracked every morsel she ate and every move she made. Every time she made a sound, I knew she was telling me something important. I worried about her when I wasn't home, and I talked about her to anyone who would listen. This is what being a parent is, I thought. By the time I was 30, I was still living my not quite adult life in New York. Max and Grandma were both very old ladies. They slowed way down, and I worried, but only a little bit, thinking that things would stay the same for much longer than they did. My mom called me with the news both times. Grandma Marcia had died, and then, yes, less than a year later, Max, too. Of course, we were all expecting and preparing for these deaths, but somehow both were shocking to me. It sounds silly to say, but that realization is what made me know that I was actually responsible, because I could handle it. Now, not long after that, my husband and I made the decision to leave New York and move back to our Minnesotan homeland. And now we both have steady jobs, and we have health insurance. We own a house. Surely this is being grown up, right? Surely this is the time we could choose to be parents to more than just felines. Everyone, including us, expects us to have a baby, but I still can't shake the feeling that I'm fooling everyone into thinking I'm responsible. I turned 36 this summer, which is an age that no one could possibly argue is not grown up. But I think grown-ups are confused a lot, and grown-ups worry, and grown-ups miss their grandmas. And grown-ups wonder if now is the right time to take the next big step. After all, cats don't draw you pictures to put up on your fridge, or let them teach you to ride a bike, or go to college or become senators. And cats definitely won't take care of me when I'm old. They won't bring me tea or rub my back or tell me they love me. Penelope is not going to do any of those things, but she does assure me that one day, when the time is right, I'll be a good mom to a human. So just a little epilogue to my story, which I originally wrote just over a year ago. So a couple things have changed since then. This is Lydia Ruth, who is 3 months old and is named after Grandma Marcia Ruth. So, I guess I'm a grown-up now.
When she says, don't worry, baby, everything will turn out all right. Don't worry, baby.
I'm a person who likes to be certain. I show up at the airport 2 hours early. When I'm cooking, I use recipes and I follow them to a T. I have taken every pseudoscientific personality test that exists just so I could assign labels to the various parts of my personality. So yeah, as much as it's possible to know things, I like to know. And perhaps it was this trait of mine that led to me being thoroughly blindsided at 24 years old when I found myself alone, overseas, and living with a slightly hostile, soon-to-be ex-husband. Our marriage didn't end with a bang, which is how I previously assumed that divorces begin. No, our marriage died a long, slow, lonely death. And my understanding of the future was shattered. The realization that I had been so wrong about such an important part of my life left me feeling deeply confused about who I was and where I was going. Amidst my self-doubt, I began planning my new life, which would formally start with me, Bruce, and Sam in Minneapolis. Bruce and Sam are my cats. Getting cats from point A to point B is relatively simple. The basic plan usually is to take the cat, put it in a box. Take the box, put it in a vehicle. Vehicle goes somewhere, take out the box, take out the cat. Getting from point A to point B during international divorce is similar, but with a few more logistical steps and a lot more emotional turmoil. Luckily, there are companies that will help with the cat moving, but they won't help with the emotional turmoil. My life became a back and forth of moving the cats and moving myself. I scoured Craigslist, trying to find a landlord who would take an application over email. I took the cats to get rabies vaccinations. I submitted a dozen job applications. I filled out 2 duffel bags. I ordered kennels. I flew back home in a stupor, and I feared that I wasn't going to see my cats again. I don't remember much of my trip, but I do have a copy of the itinerary, which shows Bruce and Sam's travels from South Korea to Minneapolis, with a luxurious overnight stay in Amsterdam. I was also sent a travel diary documenting my kitties' journeys. It hurt my heart to see the pictures that they sent. My 2 cats cowering in the corner. I cried when I first saw it, and how scared they looked. And then I laughed because an actual human being thought that that was a picture that I would want to see. Bruce and Sam landed in Minneapolis at 3:08 p.m. on October 20th, 2015. As I walked up to the cargo bay, it was immediately clear that at least one of my cats had made it through travel intact. Bruce was screaming his head off. Sam was cowering in the corner of his crate. Back in my Loring Park apartment, I could see and smell the impact of their international travels. Sam and Bruce had had a rough trip, and they looked ragged. Sure. They were covered in urine, and we were in very close quarters. But they were here, they were alive, and we were together.
I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I make them all day. I get one down in a second if you wait. All I wanna do is meow, 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 meow. And I take your money. All I wanna do is meow, 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 meow. And I gonna take your money.
Attention! All right, recruits. My name is General Whiskers, and welcome to day 1 of Advanced Cat Skills. You are all here today because you're the best, and the brightest, and the cutest, and the cuddliest. We found you in alleys, on back porches, and in sunbeams all around town, and brought you here to the academy because we believe that you have what it takes to bring your natural talent to the next level. Mark my words, by the time you have completed your training here, you will be a cat that no one can resist. Any questions before we get started?
Sir, is it true that you fought in the Great Tuna Battle of 1962, sir?
Every word you've heard about me is true.
Sir, even that you scratched a badger's eyes out with one paw tied behind your back, sir?
Sir, even that you're already on your 12th life, sir.
Well...
Sir, even that when you poop in the litter box, you don't even cover it up.
It's all true. Enough questions. Let's begin. We cats have to make sure that we have enough energy to run around the house for a full hour at 4 a.m. So we need to spend most of the day sleeping. Now humans, they love to watch us sleep. And they are gonna expect cuteness at all times. Who can tell me one of 3 popular baked goods that you can emulate in order to achieve ultimate naptime cuteness?
Sir, a loaf of bread, sir.
Sir, a croissant, sir. Sir, a Long John donut, sir.
Excellent. Good. Next topic. We all love being pet, of course. Scratches behind the ears or under the chin. Oh, most welcome. But what do you do if a human rubs your tummy?
Sir, bite their hand, sir.
Sir, sweat and hiss, sir.
Sir, run away, sir!
Oh, yeah. You got it. Humans will absolutely never learn unless you draw blood. I can see that you're ready for our final topic of the day. What to do when your human won't wake up.
But, sir, why wouldn't they wake up? Don't they want to play, sir?
Well, sometimes even our finest researchers cannot fathom why a human would prefer to keep sleeping over waking up and playing with a kitty.
Sir, how terrible. Sir.
That's why we have this training. So you are prepared out there on the field. Does anyone have any ideas of what you can do if your human won't get out of bed?
Sir, maybe meow a lot? Or knock their glasses off the nightstand, sir?
Sir, lick their hand or stand on their chest and nuzzle their face, sir.
Sometimes all of that won't be enough and you'll have to get more aggressive. Jump on them from a high shelf. Scratch at their newly painted wall. Swat at their eyelids. These are extreme tactics, but they work. Eventually, your human will get up and they will pay attention to you. I think that's enough for today. We've all worked very hard for the last 3 minutes, so everyone should take a load off. Go ahead and find the nearest sunbeam and take a quick nap. I'll see you all in 5 hours.
He was a famous drumming cat from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was a top cat at his craft. But then his kibble came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing reveille. He's a little kitty bugle cat of company breed.
When Ezra and I first met, I was nearing the end of an emotional recovery. But after 2 years of hard work, I was finally in a good place. Ezra, on the other hand, was not in a good place. He belonged to a friend of mine, and even though he was this spunky gray fuzzball with an adventurous spirit. He had gone through a series of traumatic events that caused him to lose his trust in people. My friend loved Ezra very much, but she found that her roommates had been cruel. They would hit him and forget him outside in the middle of winter, causing him to get sick. One time he got so sick that he needed medication. So I took him home to care for him until he got better. That cat needed to be where I was, and I knew that because I had been where he was. We seemed to meet each other at the perfect time. I'll never forget the look of shock on Ezra's face when I brought him home to meet my 4-year-old pit bull for the first time. This giant drooling dog licked him from head to heel like a popsicle. But to my surprise, Ezra warmed up to him. Every day the two would chase each other around the house, playing parkour tag off the furniture, and then cuddle up and nap together. They became fast friends, and it filled my heart because Ezra was so happy with us. And then a few months later, my friend told me she was moving, and she was not able to take Ezra with her. So she asked if I would be willing to take him home forever. And this was not a decision that I took lightly, but I accepted, and I promised to love him with every ounce of my being. After a lot of patient encouragement over the next few years, I had spent a lot of time rebuilding Ezra's trust in people. At first, I couldn't even pick him up without causing him to panic. So we practiced safe pickups, where I would lift him as high as he would allow me to, and then give him a kiss, and then set him back down. And when he finally got used to this, it felt like this monumental breakthrough. Then about 3 years later, my long-term relationship ended. I was a mess, and I needed all the support that I could get, but I didn't expect much from Ezra. I knew that he loved me, but I also knew that his idea of showing affection was to glare at me from the opposite side of the couch. But when he saw me in pain, he transformed. When I would cry, he would curl up and burrow into my chest and purr until my tears stopped. I had rescued him, and now it was his turn to rescue me right back. Like he was determined to show me the love that I had given him. Through the ebbs and flows of life, we learned how to best support each other with trust, knowing we had devoted the time and effort that it took to find our perfect compromise. I know Ezra will always prefer that cool 2 feet of breathing room between us while we sleep, and I will always prefer to intertwine my arms around him like an octopus. But we're always able to give each other just what we need. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you're surrounded by those that love you, support you, and encourage you. Ezra is my constant. He's my stability. And I like to think that I'm his too.
My cat Molly and I share 3 fundamental qualities: our independent natures, our love of the outdoors, and our pronounced overbites. I wish Molly didn't know about the wide world outside. Sure, it's full of patience and kindness and fun, but also cars and rabies and assholes. It's a terrifying place, and I love it, but it scares me. When I was a kid, every night before bed, I'd tell my mom, "See you in the morning," and she had to say it back. I'd repeat myself until she did. It was a magical promise guaranteed to keep us safe through whatever imagined terrors the night might hold. House fires, robberies, the Borg. I was constantly afraid. I am constantly afraid. As a 31-year-old person, every time I leave my apartment, I tell my cat, I love you, and I'll be back later. It's a promise, a verbal contract so strong that if, while I'm out and about, the Grim Reaper should reach for me with skeletal fingers and sharpened scythe, I need only say, I promised my cat I'd be back. And they'd be like, oh, my bad, I can't fuck with that. I'm stuck because I'm so scared. It feels like I've put my life on pause because I don't know how much of the video is left. What if there's only a minute or two more? I never feel safe, and as a result, I'm so safe I think I'm dying of it. I know I have more to love than be afraid of, so why is it all tunnel and no light? I can't go out and explore the world, but I also can't keep the cat from venturing forth with a bravery I completely lack. Molly loves being outside, and I can't make her miserable just because I'm a tremendous coward who feels less like a person and more like the slow collapse of a dying star. So far, the cat is fine. The neighborhood wildlife, not so much. It was an average summer day. There Molly was, laying on the front sidewalk, sunning herself. There, on my doorstep, was the headless corpse of a rabbit. My cat had murdered a rabbit. Not just murdered, beheaded. There was a little blood stain on my front steps. It was a scene straight from the cat version of The Godfather. I had no idea what to do. I couldn't bury it in the backyard. I didn't have time to call CPS and ask where the gas lines were. I couldn't put it in the trash. That was fundamentally disrespectful. So I went inside, got my dustpan, scooped up the rabbit's body, and put it in the organics recycling bin, because that at least was eco-friendly and had a sort of dignified circle of life vibe. Molly, I assume, promptly forgot about the murder, but I was horrified for months. I'm still horrified. I felt like an accomplice to murder. And then I realized I wasn't an accomplice. No, accomplices have to have guts, no dark pun intended. I was an accessory, a spineless goon, the one cat mafia's cleanup crew. But also, I don't mind. When I see my friends move away or fall in love or fall out of love, or even when I'm scooping up a rabbit's body with my dustpan, which I have not replaced, a little bit of light makes its way back into the untended corners of my soul. When I'm close to other people, or cats, really living, I can almost see myself again through this fog of constant fear. She's so close, that person who used to sneak into apartment complexes to skinny dip in pools and climb quiet construction sites to see the moon and bike ride at midnight just because. But until I can see my future again, unspooling towards some bright horizon, at least I know I'll be here next year. I have to be. I promised the cat I'd be home.
I will never leave you. I will never go away. We were meant to share each moment. Beside you is where I will stay. That's where I will stay. Evermore and always. We'll be one though we're two. One though we're two. For I will never leave you.
Hey, Wallaby. I never thought I'd have to write you this letter. I never thought I'd have to write you any letter because you can't read. You're not here right now to hear this, and I actually don't know where you are because I'm not your mom anymore. Wallaby, I don't know if you're napping right now, or what you're wearing, or who you smell like, or what you're watching on Netflix. Are you mad at me? Here's what happened, in case you're not sure, because you're a cat. I said I would watch you for your dad for the first year after our divorce, but I couldn't make it that long because someone new has come into my life. Her name is Cece. She's a 57-pound black-mouthed cur who once fought a moose in the Boundary Waters and lived to tell the tale. Her breed is nicknamed Cat Killer, so that's why you couldn't come live with us. Though I would have loved that. Wallaby, you remind me of me because you can be a sweet and funny little baby, but you also respect yourself more than you probably ever should. You're a biter, though you always know not to break the skin, and you come back 30 seconds later to cuddle as if nothing happened. You shed unapologetically all over the apartment. Your favorite show is Teen Mom, and you need to be sitting right next to wherever the snack table is, just like me. I think you're living with your dad right now. I don't look at anything he posts online, but this past April, I saw one thing that your auntie posted on Facebook. It was a quote from you, Wallaby. It said, "I dragged 2 chunks of poo across the floor and smeared them around the bath mat. Then I puked all over my dad's bed. Hashtag not ashamed. Hashtag no regrets." Hey, Wallaby, I think that day you were sending a message to me that you still love me and that you miss me and that you'll spend the rest of your life seeking revenge on my behalf. Thank you, Wallaby. Your dad and I don't talk anymore because I hope that he gets hit by a bus. Therefore, I was wondering if you could tell him a few things for me. Do you have a pen? Just kidding, you can't write. Tell him that I loved you. You were the first animal I ever had, and I had you for 7 pretty okay years. Tell him that I took really good care of you. Your litter box was in my dining room, so I cleaned it every day so my food wouldn't smell like poop. Tell him I fed you and I gave you fresh water and I let you sleep as my little spoon in the bed. Tell him that I'm strong and that I hardly ever cried. Maybe twice in the last year, or 3 times, or 4 times, 5. It's 5. It's 5. It's fine. Tell him that I'm doing well at my job and I have a lot of friends and I purchased 3 exciting new discount bikinis from the Target outlet store. Tell him that maybe we can be friends someday, but that I won't give back his vintage potato masher or our final mortgage reimbursement check. And after you do all that, you tell him that I wish him the best and that now I'm married to someone way better. Like, way better! The last time I saw you, Wallaby, it was pouring rain. I didn't say goodbye to you because you were screaming in your carrier and your dad was getting into the car and I was getting rained on in my gym clothes and everything was awkward and sad and rushed. And I didn't get to tell you how much I'm going to miss you. And I didn't get to tell you how much I loved watching you chew the air and track the birds and the snowplows outside. And I didn't get to tell you that this is not the plan that I had for you. And it's not the plan that I had for me. And sometimes that happens to even the most organized people. And sometimes the only thing left to say is goodbye. Goodbye, sweet Wallaby. I love you and I will miss you forever. And I'll hug Cece extra hard tonight. Love, Mom. Love you.
Suddenly Cece is standing beside me. She don't give me orders. She don't condescend. Suddenly Cece is here to provide me sweet understanding. Cece's my friend.
Thank you. Wow.
When I was 19, I got my first cat. She was this tiny stray kitten hiding in a construction dumpster. She came from the ashes and dust, so I named her Phoenix. When I eventually got married and bought a house, Phoenix had her own chair in the living room and this big front window to look out of. But about a year after the wedding, my ex filed for divorce. He just came home one day and said, "You can move out this weekend." So I did. I was going to stay with friends for a while, so Phoenix stayed with my ex, but I really wanted her back. About 2 weeks after I moved out, I stopped by the house to see Phoenix. When she saw me walking up, she ran towards the window and started pacing and meowing and chirping at me. I put my key in the lock and it wouldn't turn. And I tried again and again. Nothing. I called my ex and said, "Hey, why doesn't my key work? Did you change the locks?" And he said, "Yeah, my lawyer doesn't think I should allow you to have access to the house anymore." I said, "But I want to see Phoenix. I need to see Phoenix." "Well, you can't." I slammed the phone shut and I ran over to where Phoenix was still meowing at me. And I said, "I'm going to get you back. Phoenix, I swear to God, I'm going to get you back." I immediately called my lawyer. I still remember standing in the driveway yelling, "I don't care about anything else. You need to get me that cat right now." Up until that point in the divorce, I hadn't been angry. I hadn't been sad. I was terrified. My ex controlled everything, our money, our mortgage, my student loans, my phone plan. He even bought my car. He was basically in charge of my life. And now, for the first time, I was alone and scared. Our lawyers arranged an exchange at the house. I showed up with my friend Brody, and my ex brought our neighbor because we needed witnesses to the cat handoff. Apparently, calling your lawyer screaming about a cat deems you dangerous and erratic. The whole thing was mortifying, and my ex was litigious AF, so he had a document for me to sign in triplicate stating all of the items I was reclaiming possession of. 1 engagement ring, 1 cat carrier, 2 cat food dishes, 1 box of cat toys, 2 open containers of cat litter, one of which actually turned out to be filled with cat shit. Cool move, man. And then finally, the one and only thing I cared about. 1 cat. My Phoenix. When I left the house that day, I literally walked away from my entire life. But I had Phoenix. I started to get kind of agitated while I was driving Brody back to his car. I said, "It's just really shitty, like making me sign for this stuff. Like, it's my stuff. Making me sign for some fucking cat litter. And for Phoenix? Phoenix is mine." And Brody said, "That's right. Get mad, Danna." I am. Get mad, Danna. I am. Get mad, Danna. I am! Ah! That scream came from a place inside me I didn't know existed. It was fiery and raw and draining and energizing, and Brody yelled, "Yes, yes, get mad, get mad!" And I screamed again. It was like a power surge blowing out all the light bulbs. I got fucking mad, and I stayed mad, and that anger became fuel. I had Phoenix now, and taking care of Phoenix was my only priority. I got up every morning and went to work because I knew I had to make money to buy her food. I signed my first lease on my own apartment, and I set up my own utilities and phone plan and student loans so I could survive for her. And when she hopped on my bed every night, I promised her a better life. And I delivered. Phoenix is 15 now. I own my own house. She has a heated cat bed, and she gets wet cat food every day and arthritis medication every morning. I was reborn through a fire of rage with Phoenix by my side. And like Phoenix, I rose from the ashes too.
When the fire's at my feet again, and the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, "You're out of time, but still I rise."
Tony Pesto is a really bad boy. Oh gosh, I'd love to show you Penelope, but she won't stay on camera. No, sweetie, he is actually really nice. Ow, he's scratching me. He's really cute, Matt. He likes
You were
It's
going
like our first
for
date.
Oh my god, no.
Stop! It's for my run. I'm so salty. Cece! Sexual. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Downtime's over.
Squirrel! Squirrel! Okay, thank you.
Jack in the Box!
Jack in the Box!
How great was that? Woohoo! Hey, huge thanks to Anna and to the cast, the entire cast and creative team of Cat Confidential. Thanks for kicking us off right.
Yes, absolutely.
We thought for a while here in the studio, this puppy, this is our new puppy, everybody, Buzz. Buzz the baby Bernedoodle. Buzz saw Cece and his jealousy could not be contained. I can relate to those kind of baths, Anna. Big time. So friends, we are so delighted to have you here tonight. If you're new to DHI, welcome. Thank you for being here. If you're not, welcome back. We love you. Consider yourselves part of the DHI family now. We have nonstop action all season for you. And to prove it, here's what's coming up next.
Next
Did
up,
you like that transition?
This Thursday, we have date night, of course. The Delico Arts Trivia Extravaganza. We are tweaking it a bit going forward. It's now free for any Delico Home Invasion member. Still $5 if you're not, so everyone can play. And we'll be benefiting local causes, local charities, and things like that. So just a slight shift in what we're doing there, but basically the same thing, same fun. So we'll see you at 8 o'clock on Thursday, right here on our Delico Arts YouTube channel.
Come out and play. It's super fun. It's not just theater trivia. It's trivia all over the map. You don't have to do anything. You can just tune in and play. It's easy peasy.
Yeah, very silly, very fun. At least we have a good time. I don't know about you guys. And then after that, we've got one more Delico Home Invasion bit of programming in August, and that is Playdate. So if you signed up for Playdate, I believe you guys are reading Rancho, or what are you guys reading?
We are reading Karen Zacharias' play, Native Gardens.
That's right, Native Gardens. So
come on out.
Yep, you have another couple of weeks to read that if you haven't yet, and we'll send out more information on that soon if you are a member, or if you signed up for that email list.
First things first, you got to grab that script. If you don't have it, don't have the resources to get it, just email us, info@delicoarts, and let us know, and we will make sure you get the script.
Oh, here's a question from Kendra. Do we need to sign up for date night?
Not for date night.
No, if you're a Delico Home Invasion member, you do not need to sign up anymore. Sign up is gone. If you are not a member, you do need to sign up. It's all at the website right here, delicoarts.com/date. and that all the info is there. It's newly updated as of today. So if you're not a member, you will need to sign up, but it's much easier. It's just a quick email. So that's all that is about. That's very easy.
And if you're interested in doing play date, what we're going to do is talk about the script a little bit, maybe hear the script read from a couple of artists. I'm leading that one, and I do just want to know if you plan to attend, just so I know how many people to expect. No big deal if you forget to sign up, but more information to come on that. Yeah, thanks, Lizzie. Date night is super fun. Come out, you guys. It's very casual. No, it's as anonymous as you want to be. So, you don't have to worry about any pressure there. It's just really fun, and it's also for a great cause. It's just another way that we can connect with each other. So please come out and hang out with us. So 3 more events in August. We've got 2 date nights to go. And then we've got, is that right? 2? Yeah. 2 date.
If you count date night, we have 2 more date nights and then a play date.
A play date. So 3 events in August.
Yep. And then at the end of the month, we will send out the September schedule. For DHI. So keep your inbox, keep on the lookout for that email in your inbox.
Okay, friends. I know we're both having word trouble tonight.
Yeah.
We are so excited to have you. We're so excited that you were here tonight, and we will see you again on Thursday for Delaco Arts Trivia Extravaganza. Thanks for tuning in to Delaco Home Invasion and Jack in the Box.